I require the solace of the shadows and the dark of the night. Sunshine is my destroyer. There shall never be another dawn.
Oh, I timed it just perfectly, didn't it? Tim Curry, you fucking legend. Hold on, I gotta listen.
You must find them for me and destroy them.
How's everybody doing? DDLive. It feels like it's been forever since I did a DDLive. What the hell? And it's spooky season. I can't believe it's spooky season. I'm so happy to have you beautiful, beautiful people here joining me tonight. We are, as the title says there, mere days from Halloween ends. We're in the single digits, folks. When I used to be deployed, we used to have like a countdown, and when we got in the like the single digits, it was good times. It was good times. We were this close to being home. We were this close to having McDonald's cheeseburgers. We were this close to going to Sizzler. Shit was about to get real, you know. So yeah, single digits, guys. We're almost there. We're almost. It's gonna be bittersweet. It's gonna be bittersweet. Let me turn off the music. Hold on. It's gonna be bittersweet. How's everybody doing? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can. I'm saying everything twice, like the Jimmy two times. Get the papers. Get the papers. Right? Mega Cat, Tamer, Dark Soul 666, Beth S. Why'd I say it like that? Beth Chance, what's up? David Catone. Brooke, how are you doing? Gory Tiger, GT, Lance, Brooke Scarlett, Good Real Honey, Brett, what's up, brother? Adrian James, Jason McFarland, Deadhead, time for an ice cold one. Of course, Chuck Calkins. He says he's good. Destiny, how you doing, Destiny? Erica Bro, I saw her. Ryan Bogardus, Ryan. You're going to want to pay attention to the funnies, okay? There's a little hint for you. Pay attention to the funnies, all right? Death Punch, Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast. I love those guys so much. One of my favorite Oh my God, I swallowed a bug. No, I'm just kidding. One of my favorite podcasts. Oh man, how are you guys doing? I'm so excited to see you guys. I'm so excited my voice cracked twice. This is crazy. What's everybody drinking? Got a packed show for you. As you guys know, I try to give you guys a packed show. We'll make time for your questions and whatnot. White chocolate. I think everybody say hello to white chocolate. I don't think I've ever seen white chocolate in my stream before. I like that. I like seeing new faces. New faces. Richard Strange, what's up, brother? Nathan Mills. I think Nathan, were you the first one to enter the chat? Nathan has entered the chat. Slasher in Suits, what's up, brother? Hype level 10 for Halloween ends. Fuck the haters. Fuck them. This movie might suck, by the way. I'm gonna be honest. I've already got some people throwing shade at me, and you know, it's expected. I probably deserve it. But somebody told me they know I'm gonna love it. You know, on Twitter, they said you know you're gonna love it anyway. It doesn't matter. You know what? I hope he's right. I hope I do love it. You know, I'm not gonna lie to you. I am. Let's put it this way. There's one franchise that gets my nipples hard. Okay, and it starts with an H and it ends with an N. Okay, so I can't help it. If a franchise gets my nipples hard, then of course I'm gonna be a little bit biased, right? You guys would get biased, and gals. You know, hey guy, here's a question for you guys, because I like you guys to be involved. Okay, give me a franchise or a movie. It could be a single. Actually, preferably a franchise, because I'm talking about the future. I'm talking about movies that are coming. Is there a franchise where the movie could come? It could. You probably would think it could be shit. It could be bad, but you're gonna love it anyway, just because you're that crazy about said franchise. You know? Or it could be one movie that might have a sequel coming down the road. You're so crazy about that movie and those characters that if they make another movie, I have to like it. I have to like it. I smell merch. What are you talking about, Beth? What are you talking about? Oh, is it a line that I said? The Purge franchise. Thank you, Holly. Holly jumps right in there. If a Purge movie comes out, Holly's all over it. And if you give her shit about not liking it, then Holly's going to tell you to take a flying leap off of a high cliff. All right? She's not having it. You're not going to ruin her fun. She's going to have her fun at the Purge movie. I love that. Wolf Creek. Somebody said Friday the 13th. I figured I'd see a lot of Friday the 13th. And you know, that's not a wrong answer. I'm sorry. But even the worst Friday movie, I can watch and still have a good time. You know, I can make fun of it all day and all night. And I can take a shower, and then I can get out of the shower, and then make fun of it some more. But I'm still going to watch it. I'm still going to have a good time. That's just the way it is, you know? Maverick, he says John Wick. Destiny says Halloween and The Strangers. Yeah, another Stranger movie comes out. I'm there. I'm definitely there for sure. So, yeah. God, I love you guys. I love you. I love you guys so much. I just did a spin. Did you see that? I did a spin for you guys because I love you guys so much. You guys got me hype. You got me hyped. I'm ready. I feel the glow. Speaking of the glow, Michael Trapson. If you know my channel, you know Michael Trapson. We're good buddies. He comes on my channel from time to time. We were talking. I had a phone conversation with Michael Trapson today because he texted me. He said, "Yo, bro, we have to glow." And when Michael Trapson tells you we have to glow, that means he wants to stream with you. I think that's what it means. He might not have even meant that. I don't know. I think he did though. And I called. I picked up my phone and I went, "Michael Trapson." And I talked to him and I was like, "Bro, you want to come on tonight?" And he was like, "No, I'm feeling sick, and Halloween Ends hasn't come out yet. I want to come on after the movie comes out so we can discuss Halloween Ends." So Michael Trapson is going to be here probably next Sunday. Guys, what day are you guys going to see Halloween Ends? Are you going to see it on Thursday? Are you going to see it on Friday? And how many times are you going to see it this weekend? I got 2 questions for you because I'm just trying to keep you guys on your toes. I'd appreciate it if you would quit grab assing and pay attention and answer my questions. All right? Sick of it. And don't look directly into your white ring light, okay? Because it will burn your retinas. All right? Friday, says Erica. If it sucks only once. This is once in the theater and then probably again on Peacock. Boom. There you go. Thursday, white chocolate. Thursday night, Richard Strange, twice in theaters and then on Peacock. I might do that too, Rich. I might do it twice in theaters just because I got to see Halloween in a theater, and usually I see it twice, and then I'll watch it on Peacock. By the way, guys, I will be doing a commentary just like I did last year, because that's one good thing about us YouTubers, right? We can bitch and complain all day that it's not just theatrical and that it's going to Peacock. And we'll make a video, 10 minutes, because that's what we try to reach, 10 minutes. We'll make a 10-minute video, and we'll give you 5 reasons why it should never come to Peacock. And then, a secret for you guys, okay? Just a little, come here. Come here. I need you to come here. Listen to me, okay? This is between me and you, all right? This is what every YouTuber does after he makes a video saying that he doesn't want Halloween to come to Peacock. As soon as he publishes a video, then he goes and does a backflip in his backyard, because he's going to be able to do a commentary on the movie that weekend, or probably Monday, because he wants to give everybody a chance to watch it first. But yeah, I mean, he gets to do a freaking commentary immediately. It's a golden time we live in right now. Thank you, pandemic. Pandemic made a lot of these options for YouTubers who are trying to get every bit of view trash that they possibly can, digging from the trough. It's just another avenue. It's just another avenue, right? The Halloween trough just keeps getting bigger for us YouTubers to just, lap it up, right? We can do a commentary now. So it's cool. It's cool. By the way, guys, the reason it says up there, DDLive week 1, 3 years ago, Zach, what's up, brother? Cabinet Terror in the house. Nice to see you, Zach. Hell yeah. The reason, this is the 3rd year, technically, but not really, that I've done, what do you call it? DDLive in. And that's basically every week, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, we talk about the movies, not just me, but you guys. We talk about the movies we all watched during the week of Halloween. To take that even further, on the Killer Flicks Facebook group, I created a thread. I do this every year. I've done it for like the last 4 years. It's the official 31 Days of Halloween. And you can go in there and you can put in what you're watching day by day. And I just love seeing you guys get in there. And it's good because it gives you guys ideas to look at we give you the tools. It gives you guys ideas to look at other people, what they're watching. Ooh, Destiny just watched this movie. I've never heard of that movie before. Maybe I'll check it out. She says she really likes that. I think I'm going to check that movie out. That's how it works. It's really cool. It's worked for me in the past. I've found movies on that I would have never even thought of. So, but I'm carrying that forward to here every week, hopefully. And we can talk about not just me, but you guys. So be ready once we get to that section to start thinking about what you watched for the week. Another question for you guys. How many, don't lie to me now, how many horror movies have you watched since October 1st? Since October 1st, because today's the 7th. So it's like perfect, 7 days. So have you watched, we're going to do Blue's Clues right now, okay? Have you watched 1? Have you watched 2? Have you watched 3 movies? Maybe 4. Or maybe you watched 7. Okay? So, and that's what's cool about the 31 Days of Halloween too, is it kind of encourages you to, can I do it? Can I watch 1 movie every day? I've already failed, by the way, guys. Holy shit. Destiny's watched 18. Dave has watched 8. Chelsea, 8-ish. I know what you mean, Chelsea. I know exactly what you mean. Beth said 8. Ryan, House. Oh man, you guys are flying now. Holy crap. Mega Cat, too late, Lance. Menacing Hammer, 7. 12 movies. That's nice. Brett says, holy shit, Destiny. Erica's got 11. That's pretty good. That's not rookie numbers. 11 is not rookie numbers at all. Michael's got 12. Yeah, I love seeing how many. Rosalia, did I say that right, Rosalia has 5. I think I got 5. I got the same amount as Rosalia. So Ryan Bogardus says 6, The Number of the Beast, Iron Maiden. Run to Zach said 2. Richard Strange said 24. Richard, prove it. There 24? You don't have to prove it, Richard. I was just messing. But 24, that's impressive. That's impressive. Run for your life. How'd I do, guys? I hit that high note? Was I a little flat? A little flat, maybe? Is that why I'm doing YouTube and not singing career? Man, it's spooky season, guys. I freaking love spooky season. I got a big agenda, too, and I haven't even, scratched the surface yet. I'm drinking Coke, and then right after I'm drinking Gatorade. That's barbaric right there. I shouldn't be doing that. Try doing a Gatorade and then a Coke. By the way, guys, if you just watched my latest drum box, I do apologize. My audio got really jacked up. I usually have my... Here, I'll show you. Hold on. I left it downstairs, guys. I have an external mic that I plug a lav into. And by the end of the recording, usually I have to turn it off manually. But I'm talking, and then I look at my lav mic, and it's blank. And I'm like, oh, shit. I think I just lost all my audio. So my audio was there. The file was big, but it said 0. The length was 0. So I had a corrupt file. Luckily, I was able to open up a VLC player. A little tip for you. Use VLC player if you need to convert a corrupted file. It might work for you. It did for me, but the problem was when I edited, for some reason, it ended up really choppy at the end. Even though when I was in my program, when I did the playback, it was playing just fine. So guys, I'm kind of a perfectionist when it comes to the quality of my video, as far as things that I can control, like the audio, the sound level, all that. So I get really hard on myself when I put out something and then I see what, I'm like, God, I literally almost thought about taking down the video, but I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Plus it was a drum box and I wanted to definitely thank people for sending me stuff. So, but anyway, the reason I said that is because Dave Vanderhoff, one of the things I opened was that freaking sign right behind me there says Eaton, Haddonfield, and Chicago from Halloween 4. Man, Dave, this is such an awesome gift. Hold on, let me show you guys this. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? A quick question for you guys about how many hours of a drive is it to Haddonfield from any given point? Okay, so you might have to break out a protractor. All right, but according to Dr. Loomis, about how far of a drive is it to Haddonfield in hours? Okay. There we go. Yeah, George Hellman gets it. It's 4 hours. You can drive from Maine. You can drive from New York. You can drive from Florida. You can drive from anywhere, and it's 4 hours, no matter what. That's the nice thing about Haddonfield, It's a 4-hour drive. Oh, okay. All right. What should I start with? Let me look at my agenda. Actually, you know what? I know what I'm going to start with. Okay. I'll start with this. Hold on. I'll start with this. I almost fell back in my chair. Holy crap. How many of you guys got these? Halloween 6, H2O, and Resurrection. How many of you guys got those? It's a really nice set. Really nice set. I like it. Feels heavy too. Listen. It feels really heavy. Thank you, Danny. I appreciate that. H2O has one of the best 4K scans I've ever seen. Christian, I'm glad you brought that up because that's why. If you're here, this is an extension of the drum box that I just did because I didn't get a chance to watch these, so I couldn't tell you what these look like. I literally looked at every movie. I scanned through every movie, including both versions of Halloween 6 in 4K. And what I can tell you is I love the presentation of these for different reasons. One thing, starting with 6, one thing I loved about 6, and you could probably say this about a lot of 4K releases anyway, if they're true scans from the original negative. I mean, the amount of data that you see in the frame, and it's crystal clear. There's so much depth to the frame. But one nice little I call it an added bonus to Halloween 6 was Halloween 6 is what people call the blue movie of the franchise. It's just very blue, and that's a great thing. It sets it apart. It's great for atmosphere. But one thing I like about this transfer is Christian, let me know if you agree with me on this, but I think it pulls back just a little bit on the blue, and it's a little bit more of a natural looking transfer. And maybe that's because they went back to 0. They went back to the original negative. You know, they didn't go from an interpositive. I'm not an expert on this stuff, okay? But I know somewhat. So somebody might in the comments tell me I'm full of shit. But they went to the original negative. And so they had pretty much all the data there to work with. And maybe when they went in and maybe adjusted the color grading, the color timing, all that stuff, you know, because sometimes like Dean Cundy did this with the original Halloween for the 35th anniversary. And that was a different looking transfer because he wanted to mute all the colors out. Some people didn't like that transfer. It was beautiful looking, but he wanted to kind of make it more fall-like because in Halloween, there are some scenes that look like summer because the movie was shot like late spring. So Christian says 4K is the laserdisc of this generation. We're getting the truest image from the negative. Everything is natural and lovely. Thank you very much, Christian. That's what I'm trying to say. He said it much better than I could. It looks more natural, you know? And you know what? I love my blue version of Halloween 6. Don't get me wrong. I love it. But it's nice to have that option. It's nice to have sometimes I might want to say, you know what? Let's throw in the 4K and maybe it's the color grading is more even keel with the rest of the franchise. To me, that's kind of what it felt like, and it was refreshing. It was almost like watching a new print of the movie. Well, I guess I am, but just almost like an alternate version in terms of color grading. That's what it felt like to me. Okay? It's still Halloween 6. And by the way, guys, the sound is excellent. Like, I mean, extremely immersive. And all I have is like a sound bar, just a little sound bar. But I've heard sounds in Halloween 6 that I've never heard before, you know? I saw so much detail in the frame. So no regrets and no regrets for getting this. H2O, this was the transfer that I was most interested in seeing, okay? Not because H2O is my favorite movie in the front. No, it's not by a long shot. But it's still a fun movie. And the biggest thing is this is probably one of the most troubled transfers in the franchise. If you go back, it was shot on Super 35, I believe. Not because they wanted to shoot it in 35 mil, but unfortunately they couldn't get. I guess they allotted so many people to be able to use the 35 millimeter or the Panavision cameras, so they ended up having to shoot it on 35 or on Super 35. I'm boring the fuck out of you guys, but I love this shit. So the transfer's always been kind of muddied. I think that's a good word for H2O. It's never popped, you know. And I would even say the transfer for the original Halloween 78 miles and miles better than what we've seen in the past for H2O. Would you guys agree with that have seen this? I'm asking you, Christian. Sorry, but I mean, when it just goes to show the difference in a 35 millimeter print negative and Super 35. 35 millimeters there's just so much more data. It's so much more rich, just beautiful looking. But now, what I can tell you after watching the 4K edition of H2O is H2O finally looks on par with the finer transfers of the franchise. It looks flat out amazing. I'll even say, like, Resurrection, I think, had a much better transfer even before the 4K than Halloween H2O. So now, at least it feels like it pops a lot more, you know? So I'm really happy to have this in my collection for sure. And then the last one is Resurrection. I never really had a problem with the transfer of Resurrection anyway, but two reasons I got this. One is because, of course, I wanted to complete the collection and have all those covers, which I'm hoping, by the way, that they do with Rob Zombie's movies and this new trilogy once Ends is over. Can you imagine, guys, if we get covers like that for every movie? Oh, my God. I hope that Shout can secure the rights for the rest of these, for sure. Because just the possibilities for those covers is going to be great. But Resurrection does have some nice new features. It's the only one of these three movies that actually has brand new bonus features, like interviews and whatnot. And there was like little interviews, probably like 5 or 6 of them, and all of them pretty interesting. They even interview like the kid that I don't even think he's in the movie. There's like a picture of him, but I think there was that deleted scene from Resurrection that showed like young Michael Myers. And I think that was the kid, and they interviewed him in this. So it was pretty cool. But I can show you. Thank you, Brett. I appreciate it. How does the CGI... Sorry, I had to burp. Hold on. Okay. Brett says, how does the CGI mask from H2O in 4K? I did not get to the CGI mask. I would imagine that's probably one negative about the transfer, because that CGI is going to really pop out. I think... Guys, isn't there something on YouTube where somebody went in and they like changed the CGI mask in H2O to something else, or they made it look better? I can't remember. Or am I just making that up? I feel like somebody did that. I don't know. I can show you what all these look like together, though. I think it's in the funnies. Hold on. No peeking at the funnies, okay? No peeking at the funnies. It includes you, Beth. All right. Let's see. Where'd I put it? Oh, here it is. Right here. Hold on. Okay, so... Yeah. So that's one picture where you can kind of see. I posted these on Instagram. And then... Yeah, and that's what they all look like. I mean, it's really nice set. Really. I would imagine that there's already some custom boxes out there. You know, kind of like... what this is. You know, you have I'm sure somebody's probably made like a custom box like that to house the 4Ks, which would be cool. But yeah, I mean, I'm giving you a recommendation. Definitely pick these up if you want 4K Halloween, and if you're a Halloween fanatic, I'd say definitely pick these up too. Okay, because they look amazing, and all the other movies that have already been released, 1 through 5, all huge upgrades. Depending on the movie you're talking about, like Halloween 4 looks phenomenal, and 5 as well. 5 really pops. Really, all of them look really great. So, yeah. Okay. So I think this is a nice way to bridge. And by the way, guys, we'll talk about Halloween Ends right now, and then after Ends, we'll go through what you guys have been watching for the week, and I'll kind of comment on what you've been watching, and I'll tell you what I've been watching too. And I'm going to cover like one news story, and that involves Terrifier 2. Have you guys seen Terrifier 2 yet? It's so good. Like, it's really, really, really good. Because even though I really liked the first movie, I didn't expect what we got for Terrifier 2. Okay. And I didn't, when I've reviewed I reviewed Terrifier 1 twice. I didn't really care for it the first time, and then I came around to it, and I liked it the second time. So that's why I reviewed it twice. So I went into this a little nervous, though, because I really didn't know what my response was going to be. But I was wow, this is really, really good. And it's not just because of art, even though art is amazing in the movie. But this time they got the characters right. And don't get me wrong, I liked some of the characters in the first movie, but they didn't feel as big as they do in this movie. Sienna, the final girl, guys, I am not bullshitting you. If you haven't seen Terrifier 2, if anything, one thing that it can boast is that Sienna is easily one of the best final girls to come along in a long time. Maybe since You're Next. Shawnee Vinson? Yeah, Aaron? Maybe since You're Next. And really, if you break it down, she's probably better because Aaron is probably physically, if you just say physically, like straight up badass, Aaron's probably up there at the top with the best. Just because of her skill, her ability. You believe when she goes toe to toe with not one but three guys. Just because of the training that she's had. She's basically the female Rambo. So just on that front, she's so good in that territory that's why she's up there with the best. Now, Sienna, it's a different story here because she doesn't have like training and all that stuff. So she has more of an arc, I think, than Aaron. And she starts off the movie, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but she starts off the movie kind of, restrained, a little pulled back. And because of her journey along the way, I mean, wow. Just pulling out all the stops. Insane by the end of the movie. So I was highly impressed. I didn't expect that. I did not expect that at all. I expected this to be the art show, which is, again, great. I mean, we all love art. He does what he does. A lot of blooding, a lot of killing. Is blood in the word? It is now. And this just had that plus, all this other great stuff. So, yeah. Zach says, I don't know, Lee. Bailey Madison was pretty great if you're talking about more recent final. You are correct, Zach. That's the one I forgot about. And again, it's another version of a great final girl, because Bailey Madison, she kind of represents that, really young, immature, just based on her age. She's a teenager, but she has to take upon this huge responsibility. And I think just Bailey Madison's performance in the movie is what really sent it home in the end when she's like literally screaming, putting up a fight. It was inspiring, and I that's a big reason why I came out of that movie. I still remember coming out of Strangers Prey at night and literally just I need to get outside, I need to get into the parking lot, and I need to scream at the top of my lungs because I was that excited. I had been that excited for a movie in so long. So I put it in my review for it, right there in my review. And Bailey Madison, even, I woke up the next morning and I had a tweet. Bailey Madison saw my review and she was so kind. Like I was blown away. I couldn't believe that. And she just said the nicest things, she was so happy that I loved the movie. And I was just on cloud nine. It was a really, really cool experience. One that I'll never forget. But, yeah, so I'm Zach. I'm glad you brought up Kinsey because, yes, Kinsey is phenomenal. Phenomenal. Fachi, what's up, brother? Frank Riker in the house. How you doing, brother? Nice to see you. Yeah. So, man, I was going to clip out a section about Terrifier 2 that I haven't even gotten to yet. And I already talked about Terrifier. Terrifier for like 5 minutes now? So I might have to clip this part out too. I don't know. Right? Got to get them views. I used to have people, when I started clipping out content out of my live streams, at first I had a couple people say, come on, man, that's cheating. What's cheating? It's fucking YouTube. It's your channel. You can do whatever the hell you want. whatever works, right? So I was like, you know what? People aren't seeing these news stories because it's like the news stories are buried under this umbrella of a 2-hour stream. So I was like, why don't I just clip this out and put it out, and voila, freaking twice the views, 4 times the views of the actual stream itself, 10 times the comments. What's not to love? So got to get them views. Plus, it's not even really about the views. I just like being able to get information to my audience. Give you a good example. I still to this day, I constantly get comments on my 28 months later video that I did probably 3-4 years ago now. And even that video was 4 years after my first videos. And that was back in like 2015, 2016, somewhere around there. Because there was a news report on 28 months later, possibly coming out. I'm a huge fan of those 2 movies, 28 Days and 28 Weeks. They're like my favorite zombie movies. Don't you do it. You're thinking about saying, hey, Lee, it's not a zombie movie. It's in the same wheelhouse, okay? You're not wrong, all right? I know it's a virus movie, I get it, but you still have people that have spit and drool and blood either running or walking after you, okay? So we're in the same ballpark. We're in the same wheelhouse, all right? So pull your pants up, okay? And chill out, all right? Just chill out a little bit. I know you're upset because the people get really upset when I call those movies a zombie movie. It ruins their day. And I don't want to ruin anybody's day. And like Destiny said, it's got Cillian Murphy in it. What's not to love, right? So yeah, anyway, 28 months later, 4 years later, I still constantly get questions on that video. Any new updates? And so a lot of times I'll do those updates in these streams. So there's no point in repeating myself, making a separate video outside of this stream. I can just cover right here, clip it out, go about my day, go to Chick-fil-A, right? Instead of making and editing a video, I can go to Chick-fil-A. My next question for you guys, what do you order when you go to Chick-fil-A, all right? Don't you dare say you don't go to Chick-fil-A, all right? Because their chicken is delicious. It's freaking delicious, all right? I get the 4-piece chicken tenders, I get the waffle fries, and I get a large sweet tea. Woo, Lord God. You talk about, that's good. Damn, that's good. They have a turkey burger at Chick-fil-A? I do not go to Chick-fil-A. Destin, are you serious? You don't go to Chick-fil-A? Wow. Matt doesn't go to Chick-fil-A? Is it you don't like the chicken? You don't like the taste? Is my voice cracking? I will say I didn't go to Chick-fil-A forever. And then I think when I moved to Florida, for some reason I started going to Chick-fil-A. And I just got addicted to it. So Matt says it's an hour away from him. Destiny says it's pescatarian. Destiny, what does that mean? I don't even know. I'm not that bright. Traditional chicken sandwich. Frank Riker, he gets the, let's see, we don't have it here in Australia. Grilled nuggets. Beth gets the grilled nuggets, the waffle fries, and the Sriracha sauce. Sriracha. Haven't been to Chick-fil-A in over 10 years. Death Punch. Wow. When's the last time you listened to Five Finger Death Punch? And do you listen to Motograder? That's a test question. You're saying, Lee, why are you saying Motograder? Give me the connection, guys. Give me the connection. What is the connection between Five Finger Death Punch and Motograder? Okay? This is a test. I told you, you got to be prepared. You got to study up because I'm going to be quizzing you guys. I'm telling you. Motograder, Five Finger Death Punch. Come on. Somebody tell me what I'm talking about here, okay? Somebody tell me what I'm talking about here. Tony, what's up, man? Flopbuster. Hell yeah, man. Tony, I'm so proud of you. They've really been building their channel. Make sure you guys check out Tony's channel at Flopbuster. One, because he's very talented at what he does. Two, because he's a huge Busta Rhymes fan. I'm not shitting you. I swear to God. He loves freaking Halloween Resurrection. He loves Busta Rhymes and Halloween Resurrection. And that's saying something. That's saying something. So, drummer. Jesse Campbell says drummer. No. Ivan Moody is the correct answer. Ivan Moody was the lead singer of Motograter. And that's a damn good album, by the way, guys. If I'm being honest, I think that Motograter album is better than any Five Finger Death Punch album. I mean that. I mean that. You're welcome, Tony. Zodiac says, them double steak grilled cheese burritos are the stuff. White Chocolate says, Busta is the most entertaining thing about Resurrection. You are not wrong. I was thinking about this. Who did I say this to? Did I say this to Lindsay? I said this to somebody. We were talking about Busta Rhymes, and I said, if you take Busta Rhymes out of Halloween Resurrection, does it make it worse or better? Answer that for me, guys. If you take Busta Rhymes out of Halloween Resurrection, does it make the movie worse or better? That's not a trick question, all right? Because I don't like Halloween Resurrection, but it might be a worse movie if you take out Busta Rhymes, if I'm being honest. You know? I have to really think about that sometimes. Busta was goofy. If anything, he brought some comic relief to it, I guess. You know? Will Smith says he can't act. He said it would have been better because he can't act. I think he can act. I mean, that's Freddy. That's the character. I felt like he was being Freddy. I didn't feel like he was acting. You know? So, I'm really hungry, guys. I didn't eat dinner yet. So, you know, I get all worried before these streams, and I lose my appetite, and then I start streaming, and you guys calm me down, and you make me feel good, and then I'm hungry. So now it's your fault. I'm starving. Holy crap, it's 8:50. Okay, Halloween Ends. All right, let's get into Halloween Ends. We're 50 minutes into this. I haven't even talked about Halloween Ends yet. Lloyd Neal, what's up, man? Glad you could catch it too, Lloyd. I don't even think Busta has any opinion or real memories of Resurrection. Someone needs to ask him about it. Yeah, you know what, Tony? You're right, because I've heard people trying to interview Busta Rhymes, trying to get him to do a commentary even, and he might not even remember Halloween. I don't know. I will say, I was watching that the documentaries on the 4K for Resurrection today, and they said Busta Rhymes, he must have been working 24 hours a day. Like, they don't see how he got sleep, because they said he would shoot like a 12-hour day or 16-hour day, whatever it was, and then he would go to a studio because he had to work. He had to like do studio work, write songs, record, and so he had no free time whatsoever. Thank you, Jesse. What's up, man? He says, miss you, buddy. Drummer was a wild guest, by the way. Anyway, much love. You make my day. I can't read for shit. I'm sorry. Much love. You make my day once a week or more. Genuinely. P.S. Hi, Beth. Please marry me. Uh-oh, Beth. Somebody's got a crush. I love this. It's awesome. Now, everybody patiently await Beth's answer. Okay? Here we go. I love it. I love it. All right. So, Halloween Ends. I'm seeing it on Wednesday night, and I'm really, really excited. But when I got the email for the invite, when you get these press emails, there's always all this information, stuff you can and can't say, and there's like an embargo, and it'll like highlight it in red. Embargo, do not discuss, review this movie until this date, this time. You know, they got it down to the hour. And sometimes they'll have the social embargo. separate from the actual review embargo. So you know how you go on YouTube and you'll see all these YouTubers, including myself, they'll come out of the theater and it'll with out of the theater reaction. That's not the review. That's an actual social reaction, because social is Twitter, it is Instagram, it is Facebook, but most people are going to use Twitter. But it's also YouTube. YouTube is a social platform. So as long as you're not doing a full nuts and bolts, pros, cons review, just giving your quick, whatever, you pretty much look at it this way. You wrote something out on Twitter, and Twitter gives you 120 characters or whatever it is now. I think it's more, something like that. And you could read that verbatim into the camera, and that's how you get away with it. So that's why you'll see all these YouTubers, they'll come out and they'll give you the quick YouTube out of the theater reaction, and then they'll record an actual full-on review, which is sometimes I'll do that. Hell, sometimes it's my workaround. I'm like, you know what? I don't feel like recording a 10-minute review and editing and all this stuff and putting in the clips. I did that for like Stallone's latest movie, Samaritan. I was like, I'll just freaking pop the camera up and do a social reaction. And I still got the same views. So, yeah. But yeah, so what I was saying is there's two different embargoes. All right. So Halloween ends. I get the email. You are invited Wednesday night. Come enjoy the movie. Embargo. Thursday at 3 p.m. The embargo is Thursday at 3 p.m. I believe Halloween Kills was, I think, maybe Tuesday. Because I put out that review, I think, a couple days before the movie came out. So it might have been Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. But this, I was like, whoa, Thursday, 3 p.m.? Thursday's the day that everybody's going to see this movie, that really wants to see it, right? But there was nothing about a social. And so I sent an email back, hey, is there any word on a social reaction? I quickly got an answer back. Jesse says, okay, Beth. I said gently, though. Okay. So I quickly got an answer back stating the social embargo is the exact same. It's the exact same. Thursday at 3 p.m. So I posted that right away on Twitter. Hey, guys, I just found out this is the embargo for Halloween Ends. That's all I said. And I did that on purpose because I wanted to see what the reaction was going to be from that. Because I knew most of the reactions were going to be, that's a really, really bad sign. And they're not wrong. They might not be wrong. Statistically speaking, they're not wrong. Okay? Because most of the time, when a movie is given an embargo that's right up to the day, then it usually means the movie sucks royally, or the studio doesn't believe in the movie whatsoever, or both. That's usually what it means. Give you an example. The latest, I think the latest Resident Evil had a really, really late embargo. And my opinion, the reason they did that is because the movie was horrible. Or the general opinion of the movie was that it was not good. Okay? Does that mean that everybody's going to hate the movie? No. There are some people that will like the new Resident Evil movie. I've seen it. Some people like that movie. But overall, if you see a Rotten Tomatoes score of, say, around 30% or below, there's a good chance that movie had a really late embargo. That's just the way it works. Now, also, there are other possible reasons why a movie might get a really late embargo. But let me get this out of the way, okay? Just so you don't think I'm saying this. Halloween Ends could be a complete shit show. And that could be the reason why we're getting this really late embargo, okay? I have to put that out there. I'm not being biased towards the movie. I haven't seen the movie. So that is option one. Option one, it could be a shit show. It could be horrible. All right? So the studio doesn't believe in it at all. Okay. But that's delicious. There are 2 more options here, guys. So get excited. There are 2 more options here, okay? There might even be more, but there's two that I thought about. One is that Halloween, and there's 3 parts to this one that I'm about to give you, okay? Halloween as a franchise is a divisive franchise. It is. I'm sorry. I posted, I love the Thorn trilogy. I had a lot of people say, I agree, I love the Thorn trilogy. And I had a lot of people say, you are smoking the biggest blunt that has ever been created. You know? It's divisive. It's a divisive franchise. Okay? That's number 1 of 3 of option number 2. Are you confused? Okay. Number 2 of 3 of option number 2. This new trilogy is divisive. That's a fact. This new trilogy is divisive. I've seen it. There are people that shout at the mountaintop for this trilogy. It's the greatest thing since sliced bread. We have been saved. The franchise is saved. It's back. It could do no wrong. I am probably guilty of this. All right. I'll be the first to admit it. When I came out of Halloween 2018, thank you, Jesus. Thank you. That's what I said. When I came out of Halloween Kills, holy shit, I can't believe they topped Halloween 2018. I was flipping out. I still love Halloween Kills. 2018's kind of settled for me a little bit, okay? Travis, thank you. He says, imagine if the radio tower has some influence on the Myers with someone hearing the signal revealing dream message from Prince of Darkness. Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. That'd be really cool, actually. You could definitely, but you know, we've already heard mentioning of Christine and influence of Christine with this movie, which we're going to talk about that. Okay, I made a note to talk about that because it fits in with something else that has to do with the movie. Number 3 of 3 of option 2. Okay. Number 3. Halloween Ends is already divisive because of the plot. Halloween Ends is already hella divisive because of the plot. David Gordon Green going into this movie, I think because originally this was going to take place on the same night as the first 2 movies. But the pandemic happened. They changed the script around. David Gordon Green still is constantly working on the script. And so and guys, I'm going to tell you right now, if you are the type that is just avoiding every single little thing about Halloween Ends, this is where you might want to exit for probably at least 30 minutes. Okay? I'm going to give you that right now. Because I'm going to talk about an item that's in the trailer. Don't worry, it's in the trailer. But some of you don't even want to watch the trailer. Some of you want to go into this completely blind, knowing nothing. Okay? So I'm going to give you that warning going any farther here. All right? Yeah. Anyway, so pressing forward. So the nature of this plot it seems to be already very divisive. I think that's why we're seeing probably more speculation videos on Halloween Ends than the other 2 movies combined. I think, and guys, don't get me wrong, I think there are some big surprises coming that we don't even know about. And I think that is a big reason why this embargo is so late. My opinion, okay? Like I said, movie could suck, but my opinion, just to be safe, and they don't want any plot details getting out on this movie, that could be a reason why this embargo is so late. All right. But one big divisive element of this movie is Corey. I'm just gonna say it right now. I like. Let's put it this way: if you were to gamble and you had to put money on it, if there's going to be a copycat killer in this movie, Let me ask you guys this, all right? Do you think there will be a copycat killer in this movie? Okay, just a hunch. You know, we don't know anything yet, but based on what we've seen so far, do you think there will be a copycat? Damn it! I had to burp. Sorry. Do you think there will be a copycat killer in this movie? All right. Yep, 100% possible. Yes. Detroit Rock City, Beth? No way. Yes. Arnie Cunningham. Corey Cunningham. Christine. Thank you, Cucumber Chris. Cucumber Chris literally said the exact same thing that I was going to talk about with that connection to Christine. Ryan says, yeah. So everybody's saying yes, and we haven't even seen the movie yet. All right. So that's a big reason why this movie is so different than the other two movies. And let me ask you guys this. Does that excite you, or does it concern you, or both? Are you going into this movie even more excited that this story's going to take some different avenues? We're not getting the same... You know, Halloween Kills was the slasher movie. Halloween 2018 was the origin movie in terms of let's get Michael out of prison and then let's wreak havoc and get him and Laurie Strode together. That was pretty much the point of Halloween 2018. Halloween Kills was let's get the slasher movie out of our system. Let's just give you a balls to the wall slasher movie. So we already know, yeah, it's a slasher, but we already know that this is the last movie in a trilogy. We want to shake things up. We don't want to give the same movie. So, interested. I'm good with it. I think we know the whole plot. I'm worried. I'll walk out if Michael grabs Corey and I hear 50s music. Christine. Yeah. Corey is guilty as fuck. I'm guessing he wasn't wrongly accused. I want a new Jason movie. I haven't liked the last two movies, but I'm intrigued to see if they're able to pull this off. White Chocolate is a great example. Like, I think it's smart what they're doing because they're getting, even if you don't like the previous two movies, you're interested in this movie because of how different it is. Zach says Zach, we all know that this isn't the last Halloween movie. It's the last in this trilogy, though, okay? That's what I'm talking about. It's the last in the trilogy. Trina says she's concerned, but she doesn't care. She's still excited. So, yeah, I mean, you guys are pretty much proving my point there. This movie, there's a good chance that people coming out of this movie are going to hate it because it seems like it's veering quite far out of the norm. And when you do that, you kind of split your audience down the middle. Don't get me wrong. I think there are people that are going to come out of this movie loving it, thinking, wow, that was refreshing and satisfying. But I think there's going to be people that aren't going to like it at all. And that's not just because of the plot. That's just because it's Halloween. You know? Outside of the first movie, I don't think any of the movies are universally loved. You know? I'd say Halloween 2, for the most part, most people like Halloween 2. And Halloween 2 is probably in the middle of my ranking, you know? It's kind of an all bets are off franchise in terms of likability. You know, there are people that love H2O and there are people that absolutely despise the movie, you know, just because it just has a different overall vibe, the timing it came out in the 90s, you know. But I think H2O is a good thing, even though I don't like the movie that much. I think it's a good thing because it's just another flavor. You know, this is what Hellraiser did wrong for the longest time. Is like every movie felt kind of the same exact tone, the same exact vibe for every movie. And so what happened? The movies kind of just started bleeding into each other. And unless you were a diehard Hellraiser fan, you couldn't tell one from the other. I couldn't. I forgot about every movie just about T-minus 5 seconds after I finished watching it. Halloween's not that. Halloween has a lot of different flavors. So, yeah. Let me check. Let me see if I missed anything. Because I had some points. Let's Yeah, so I talked about A, it could be bad. B, divisive nature of the franchise, divisive nature of the trilogy, divisive nature of the plot of Ends. And number 3, keep it secret, keep it safe. Keep it secret, keep it safe. Because this is the last movie. They're taking a lot of risks. So I think they don't want the plot to get out. It's like Scream. It's like when those first few Scream movies came out, and I guess still today too. It's with that franchise, they go out of their way to not let the audience in on what's going on. Frank Riker. Let me see what he says here. Hold on. For some reason, my let me see. This thing ain't working. Let me go up here. Hold on. My OBS. Here we go. He says, Lee, Ends could be the worst Halloween movie, but for me, it's more about how they kill or don't kill Michael. Let's talk about that for a sec. That's a good point, Frank. That's a good point. And I definitely wanted to discuss that anyway. The death of Michael Myers. The death of Michael Myers. Question for you guys. Do you want Michael Myers to die in this movie once and for all? This is the 13th movie. If he does die, I was thinking about this today. I love my boy. I don't want my boy to ever die. But if he dies in this trilogy, they're going to make more of the movies anyway. This is going to wrap up this story. So, but my personal opinion, Michael Myers isn't supposed to die. If you go by the intention of the character from John Carpenter himself, this came out of John Carpenter's mouth. John Carpenter said, evil never dies. That's what Michael Myers is. Michael Myers is the embodiment, the human embodiment of evil. And that's the whole point of the very last scene of the first Halloween. When, they went through all this stuff. She stabbed him with the clothes hanger. She stabbed him with the knife. He shot 6 times, or 7, which version you watch, by Loomis. And then he gets up at the end. He gets up, and if you've seen the I think it's the Cut Above the Rest documentary, or it might have been Unmasked 2000, I can't remember, but John Carpenter said the reason he did that was because he wanted the audience to not feel safe at the end of the movie. He wanted Laurie Strode, the town of Haddonfield, to not feel safe at the end of the movie. Oh my God, we just did all this damage to this guy. He got up and he walked away. He never says a word throughout the whole movie, and that just immortalizes him even more. He doesn't. The more you watch, even the first Halloween, the more you realize he's not a human being. Gradually you start realizing he's not a human being, especially in that last act. And that's kind of the charm of the first movie too. Is like the first time you ever watch the first movie, you think it's a normal guy. You think it's just a normal guy, escaped a mental ward. And he can die just like the rest of us. And so then when all this shit starts happening to him in the third act, then you start realizing, oh my God, he's pretty much indestructible. And so that kind of changes things. So yeah, he's the Shape. They called him the Shape for a reason, because he's pure evil. So keeping in line with the first movie, I think the end of Halloween Ends should send a chill down everybody's spine. Oh my God, he's evil. One thought I had about the Corey character. Let me take a drink. Hold on. Part of me was wondering, are they, and I hope to God they're not doing this, because Michael Myers is Michael Myers. He's nobody else. So, I'm hoping and praying, and I don't think they are, but I'm hoping and praying that they're not passing Michael and his essence and his powers to Corey. And that's one thing that I was kind of concerned about, that exchange in the tunnel, where Corey has that interaction, as we see in the trailer. And I even said this in my trailer reaction, is there some sort of supernatural exchange in there? And could that be the thing that really will piss people off? I don't know. So I'm excited about the Corey character. Even the first time I heard that there was this new character, Corey, I got excited. I was like, oh, they're bringing in some new blood, and he's not just a victim. This is a guy who could possibly take over or be a copycat killer or something like that. I think the thing that most people would want, what I've seen anyway, out of Corey is, and you guys let me know if you think I'm wrong here. Corey comes into the picture somehow at the first act. Somehow Michael Myers is taken out of the picture. I don't know how. Somehow he's taken out, and Corey becomes Myers. Doesn't become, but you know what I mean. He takes over as the killer. And then Myers comes back in the third act, and that got me really excited, thinking of the idea of having Myers coming back and saying, hey, this is my territory, and completely slaying Corey. You know? It's one of those plots that kind of writes itself, you know, because it's one of those, like, give me what I want plot. You know, this is what the audience would probably want. But I don't know, guys. Like, this movie could go anywhere, you know? And I think that's what David Gordon Green's wanting to do. Think back to Halloween 2018. Hi, Harry. How are you doing? Think back to Halloween 2018. And what is the one scene in Halloween 2018 that pissed you guys off the most? I already know the answer. Jesse says, Jamie Lee Curtis said in the SP that he's more dang and transformatively. I don't know. We'll see. Be careful, but guys, be careful too with because Jamie Lee Curtis, I think she needs to kind of keep her mouth shut, because she does give away too much. Like, I'm very skittish about watching any interviews with Jamie Lee Curtis. Okay, because, and I had this problem in Kills too, because she went on Twitter and she let out a freaking spoiler that I didn't want to know. And she's kind of doing the same thing here. So just be careful. Like, if you're the type of person that wants to go in not knowing too much about this movie, don't watch any interviews with Jamie Lee Curtis. All right? And I've seen some. Okay? But I'm still excited. The reason I'm excited is because, and you guys are telling me what I knew that was the answer you were going to give me. Okay? But yeah, I'm still really excited because I think there's a lot that we don't know. I think they got some major surprises in store, and I think that's the reason for that embargo. I think it's such a big surprise that they don't want it getting out. You know, and I think if you have that embargo on Tuesday, that gives 3 days, or 2 days, I guess, 2 days for that to get out. And I guarantee you it will. Okay? I guarantee you it will, because of advanced screenings. People forget. It's not just critics that see movies early. It's the general public too. If you're lucky enough to get an advanced screening, like I'd even say, like, every other press screening I go to is intermingled with an advanced screening. You know, they have a section kind of cordoned off for the press, but all those other seats are open. So like Kills, when I went and seen Kills, that was an advanced screening. It was a packed house. And critics, I think, are more prone to keeping things quiet and keeping things secret. But when you have the general public at an advanced screening, seeing Halloween Ends with all these crazy secrets, that shit's going to get out 2 minutes after they leave the theater, okay? It's going to be all over Instagram. It's going to be all over Twitter. So my money is they did this because they don't want it getting out. They don't want it getting out. Let me get Erica's super chat here. Okay, here we go. Michael just can't die, and it likely still won't end well for our protagonist. What is light without dark? Tim Curry. I love that. I love that, Erica. Yeah. Oh, I think we're going to have some deaths in here that are pretty heavy. I do. I mean, will Halloween Ends be like a gut punch, you know? What would be the gut punch for you guys if they do this, if they do X, I will be destroyed. What is X for you guys? What do you not want to happen? Like, will just completely destroy you emotionally. I guess what I'm asking is if this character dies, you're going to be, and it could be Michael Myers. If this character dies, I'm going to be really pissed off. Travis Mitchell says he doesn't want Hawkins to die. Beth, another freaking chant. Beth, I agree. I do agree. I never said I like Evil Dies Tonight. I did kind of defend it a little bit because, especially in this day and age, we have some real fucking morons in this day and age. We do. And so is it believable that some idiots would do that? Yes. I think in this day and age, there would be some morons that would do that. You know. Plus, when you have those protests, you do have chanting. But I don't want to see it in my movie. You know, do it once, do it twice, and then, okay, let's move on. But, you know, they did it a couple times, and then, like, they're running down the hall, and as they're running, Evil Dies Tonight, and then he runs through the hall again. I'm like, oh, God, what are you doing? And it's an easy cut to make, you know? I guarantee you guys, you know, I'm the guy, I do my fan edits, right? And I've thought about doing this too. I've thought about doing the No Evil Dies Tonight version of Halloween Kills. And if you cut out, you put maybe one time in there, Evil Dies Tonight or something like that. Okay. Maybe that, or just cut it out altogether. I don't know. There is one, when Nurse Marion, the way she says it, I literally want to freaking jump off a cliff every time that happens. When she goes, Evil Dies Tonight, I'm like, oh, God. So, I love Halloween Kills. The Evil Dies Tonight is annoying. I'm right there with you guys, okay? You're preaching to the choir. It is annoying. Every time I watch the movie, it stings, okay? It does sting. Especially the way Nurse Marion says it. I hate the way... I don't mind the way Tommy Doyle says it, even though he says it the most. I guess it's the way you say it. But the way Marion said it, I didn't like it at all. But back to the question I asked you guys. What was the one scene that annoyed you the most about Halloween 2018? And I knew the answer to this. It's Sartain. Okay? Sartain, that is a frustrating scene for a lot of people. And it's another one of those things that's explainable, but I don't want to see it in my movie. I get the psychology of it. I get that this guy was interested in the mind. I mean, we're all interested in the mind of serial killers, okay? What's the number one show on Netflix right now? Right? You tell me, guys. What's the show that you guys are all watching right now and you can't get enough of it and it's so interesting and it's about a monster, you know? Dahmer. Everybody's into Dahmer, and I love. It's a great freaking show. It's amazing. I love just because of Evan Peters' performance. It's so good. It's so good. It's like must see TV. We are like Sartain. We want to know what is in the mind of a killer, especially if he's extremely eccentric. You know, Dahmer was extreme. Like he was out of left field. Very eccentric. And the show really gave you an inside look into his mind. So, if Michael Myers was real, he would be very interesting. I mean, this guy that never says a word and just randomly goes around killing people. To me, I always like the sibling angle because that makes it even more creepy. This guy wants to kill every member of his own family. That's creepy as hell. So, that's Sartain's hang-up. You know, Sartain, he's always been interested. Why doesn't he ever say a word? He wants him to speak. That he even used Aaron at the beginning of the movie. You know, he wanted Aaron to approach him. He wanted to see if he could get a reaction out of him. You know? So I get it. I get why he wanted to know. He wanted to have the mask on. He wanted to feel it. But when he pops up with that mask and he stabs Hawkins, Yeah, I think it was just too much. I think they didn't need to go that far. I think it was just too much. Jesse says, I think Laurie will kill Corey first and then Michael for the climax near the end, and he'll really be dead this time, but the film will end with us discovering Corey's body is missing. Remind you of 78? Well, Corey, here's one connection too, Jesse. Corey is 21 years old in this movie, I believe, which is the same age that Michael Myers was when he first started killing. And bringing it back to Christine, somebody mentioned that too. I think Corey is that that comparison, that connection to Christine, because I think maybe Corey might be a little obsessed with Myers. Is that a possibility? Maybe, I don't know. You know, Beth, what was the main guy's name in Christine? He became obsessed with Christine. And by the way, guys, too, if you've listened to a few tracks on the new Arnie, thank you, Beth. If you listen to the new tracks on the score that are available, I don't know. Beth, did you get Christine vibes? I got major Christine vibes from that first track, The Procession. Beautiful sounding track too. And also, guys, there's a track by Boy Harsher, which is a band that I've been freaking going nuts over for like the last year. They did the score for The Runner, and man, I've been listening to that vinyl like constantly. And when I heard that they do a track for Halloween Ends, oh my God, Boy Harsher and Halloween Ends, that's perfect. And that's a great track too. So, Sebastian says, Drum, did you see the new Friday the 13th fan film? There's like 5,000 of them. Which one are you talking about? So yeah, Christine. I'm excited when you make a connection to Christine. Like David Gordon Green even said, "Is it to Christine?" He literally said that to John Carpenter when he gave him the script. So, yeah, I love Christine. Christine, I think, is probably one of Carpenter's most underrated movies. I love the score for that movie, which the score does have some Halloween 3 vibes to it a little bit, but it's definitely its own thing. I think there's a sexual tension in the movie, you know? Guys, what do you call that? There's a name for that when somebody's like attracted to a machine. It's on the tip of my tongue. And you guys are so smart. I know one of you guys knows it. They even like featured it in the new Solo movie. Corey Cunningham. Is Corey's last name Cunningham? CCMM. Because that would be... why would they be doing that, though? Sean Cunningham. Because Halloween came out before. I don't know. Yeah. Autoerotica? Is that it? Mental illness? Mechanophilia. There's a name for it. Mechaphilia? Maybe that's it. Oh, is Arnie's last name Cunningham? Okay. See, I'm learning. Trina was wrong. Mechanophilia is right. Okay, cool. Thank you, guys. See, I knew you guys were smart. Beth, if Google says it, then you know it's right. It's like Sex Panther. 60% of the time, it works every time. Oh, good. So 60% of the time, Google works every time. Okay. Let me see if I finished everything about ends. We covered a. Did you get your ends thirst quenched, guys? Because that was my goal here. Okay, I want to quench my audience's thirst of Halloween Ends. Oh, okay. I have one more thing to say about Halloween Ends. Okay, one more thing. All right. And this involves the embargo, and let's assume that the embargo means that most people are not going to like this movie. Okay, let's scrap the freaking 45 minutes that I just talked about, and let's assume that the first thing is the right thing. that general audiences are not going to like this movie. Okay. Here's my point. Since when have we ever cared about what critics think of Halloween? Since when have we ever cared about what critics think of Halloween? And there's a reason I'm saying that. If you look at the Rotten Tomatoes score for just about every movie in the franchise, there's only 2 movies, I think, 2 movies that have a fresh rating. That being the first movie and that being Halloween 2018, okay? I don't even think H2O, which is a very well general audience liked movie, okay? I don't even think H2O has a positive fresh rating. If you guys want to look that up for me and let me know, but I don't think it does. I think only the first and 2018 have fresh ratings, okay? My top 5 Halloween movies, Halloween 2018 is not in there. You know, Erica, you're not supposed to say that, all right? I was hoping nobody would notice that, but yeah, it's every movie in this franchise. They are for fans. They are for Halloween fans, and I guarantee you, I'm going to cut right to the chase about this. Okay, guys, I guarantee you, there are people that are going to come out of this movie and they're going to love it. You know, because they love this franchise so much, and if it has Michael Myers in it, then they're going to love it. If Michael Myers is killing, then that's what we want. And if there's a big old fight between Laurie Strode and, I mean, I don't think this is going to be the worst Halloween movie, okay? If it's better than Halloween Resurrection, and there are some of you that like Resurrection, if it's better than Resurrection, then it's gonna have an audience. So it doesn't really matter. And at the end of the day, as soon as I heard that the embargo was that late, kind of wanted to see it more. That's the God's honest truth. I kind of wanted to see it more. I'm usually like that with middle of the road reviewed movies too. And what I mean by that is movies that usually get like 50%-ish around there. Of course, I want to see 90% movies. Yeah, if they're 90% on the tomato meter, yeah, that's great. But when they're in the middle like that, there's something about that makes me want to see the movie even more usually. Just because I'm kind of weird like that. And usually that means there's probably one element in this movie that really rubbed people the wrong way. But it might rub some people the right way. And I think that's usually what happens with me, you know? And I tend to like polarizing movies. Not all the time, but I usually do. So, kind of want to see it more now. You know, I'm even more curious now. So yeah, that's my spiel on Halloween Ends. And when I wrote all this down, I'm like, am I going to have enough to talk about? And I've talked way too much. It's so easy to talk about. I mean, because just the movie is, there's so much we still don't know, and that intrigues me. You know. All right. Oh my God. 9:30. Let's get to what we're watching. All right. So first thing I want to ask you guys. First thing I want to do is get this super chat. Matthew, he says, one thing we can agree on is that James Jude Courtney was an amazing Michael, and it's kind of sad that this is his last movie as Michael, though it does need to end. By the way, keep killing it, Lee. Matthew, I'm so glad you said that. And nobody's brought that up, actually. This will be James Jude Courtney's last turn as Michael Myers, and I think it will cement him as the best Michael Myers out of all of them now. I think that's a safe bet. If somebody says he's better than Nick Castle, nobody really bats an eye now. You know, and before James Jude Courtney, universally people would say Nick Castle. But man, he is so good. I think he just embodies the best parts of other Myers characters, and he just drives it home, and he has his own little flavor there too. But well, I mean, let's put it this way: he's so good that as soon as he stepped in that bathroom in Halloween 2018, you forgot that he was a 60-year-old man. You didn't even care that he was a 60-year-old man. And before this movie came out, Halloween 2018, that was one of the biggest complaints. He's 60 years old. What's he gonna? Is he gonna have a cane? Everybody had these jokes, As soon as James Jude Courtney walked in that bathroom and cooked fools, it was we had no concerns whatsoever about his age. Okay. Jesse says, Lee, still worried, but looks good. Still, I think it'll be great. At best, decent. At worst, like 2018, Copycat thing will be disliked, but not enough to ruin it. I think if they do go the Copycat route, I think there will be people that don't like that aspect of the movie. Just like A New Beginning, Friday A New Beginning. It's generally treated as a bad movie in that franchise, just because of a lot of people would have preferred Jason to be in the movie. I still have fun with A New Beginning. I think, guys, is there another franchise that ever had a copycat killer? I'm trying to think. I mean, Friday might have had two of them, because if you look at Jason Goes to Hell, it's Jason, but it went from body to body to body, so sort of like ish. So that franchise did it twice, and both those movies are regarded as the worst. So that might happen here. I think the one thing that's interesting about this is the idea that Myers is in this movie. I think it's safe to say that. I don't know that for sure, but I think it's safe to say Myers is in this movie. And that does excite me. And I think he plays a major part in this movie. So we've never had a copycat killer with this type of story, with the other killer, the main killer, being a major part. I think that's a big thing that's gets me excited about this movie too. So there was a movie thriller called Copycat, Rosalia. Yes, there was, with Sigourney Weaver. Pretty solid flick too, actually. I like Copycat. It's good. Psycho 2. Thank you, Gory Tiger. Psycho 2. That's a really good. The nature of Psycho anyway is kind of, is it Norman or is it not Norman? You think that in every movie, which I think adds kind of a unique flavor to that franchise. But yeah, Gory Tiger, good answer. Okay, let's get into what we've watched. So guys, let me know what movies you watch. You can give me a couple, like give me one or two. And did you watch anything that you haven't watched in a long time? Did you watch something new? I sound like Dr. Seuss. Did you watch an old favorite? Or did you do all of those things? I'll go to what I watched. Here we go. Hold on. Yeah. So let me see where I'm at here. Okay. Yeah. So I guess I'll work my way up. All right. So yeah, the first movie I watched was Smile. Beth said she watched Pearl last night. Amazing. Loved it. And Beth, she's a tough critic. I know that about Beth. There's a lot of movies, like especially movies of today, she doesn't really care for. And she'll tell you in a heartbeat. So if she liked Pearl, you can take that to the bank. All right. Smile and Pearl. Sissy, Hellraiser, Resurrection, Will Smith. I watched Feast for the first time, David Thorson. Feast was, Lindsay introduced me to Feast, actually. It was really good. It's fucking crazy. That's one of those, like if you like Terrifier, then you'll probably like Feast. It's one of those type movies. Watched House of Wax, Rosemary. I've been meaning to watch House of Wax again. I haven't seen it in ages, and for some reason I'm seeing like a resurgence of that movie. Like I see people mentioning it all the time, House of Wax. So I need to watch that one again. D Gulag says, I recently watched the first two Texas Chainsaw movies. Those are different. Like both from one from the other, very different. I didn't expect Hellraiser to be decent, but it was. So I like seeing what you guys watched. Okay, Franco likes House of Wax. Okay, so yeah, I watched Smile. That's the first. I watched 5 movies. The first one I watched was Smile. Pleasantly surprised. I thought it was going to be good anyway, just because of the trailer. I like that they had a wide range of scare tactics in the movie. Because this is one of those movies that feels like they're going for scares. They're not going for kills, even though there's going to be kills in the movie. They're trying to scare you. It felt like that type of movie. Because I do think there are horror movies that aren't necessarily meant to be like to scare you. They're still meant to be entertaining. But Smile does have some genuinely creepy moments in it. It definitely, and I'd say that opening scene of the movie is pretty scary. It's pretty creepy. I think the strong part of the movie is the first half of the movie. I think it falters a little bit in the second half. Endings are hard to write. I probably wouldn't do a better job. It's one of those movies where the idea itself is the thing that grabs your attention. M. Night Shyamalan was like a master at this, of giving you an idea that's just irresistible. And with Smile, it's why are these people smiling? And there's kind of like a juxtaposition to it because, like the smile is like the opposite reaction you would expect from a death. So you're mixing like that picture right there. She's smiling and she's literally about to cut her face all the way down through her neck. So it's those that juxtaposition that makes it really creepy. So I liked it. Very good movie. Next one I watched was Terrifier 2. I gave you guys a big spiel on Terrifier 2 at the beginning. It's good. It's really good. It's not for the squeamish. If you like more tension-based horror, if you really do not like blood and guts, this movie's probably not for you. Okay? And what I will say to those people that don't like blood and guts in movies, if you were to take that out of this movie, it would still be a damn good movie. And I think that's the ultimate test, because there's some movies, they depend on these graphic moments. They depend on graphic violence. You didn't really have to have that in Terrifier 2, if I'm being honest, because the characters are so good, the story's really good, and you could have had Art just do normal, I guess, type killing. But that's kind of Art's thing, though. That's his gimmick. He has to go above and beyond in terms of kills. But now here's the other thing. If you love that type of stuff, then this movie is it might be your favorite movie of the year because you get that along with really great characters. Woo! My voice is dying. But I'll foot stomp this again, what I said earlier. Best final girl I have seen in years. Maybe a decade. She's that good, guys. I am not, if that wasn't the truth, I wouldn't say it. All right? And I went into this movie not expecting that at all. Sienna? Remember that name. Because all those top 10 final girls lists that you see from this day on, Sienna's going to be in those lists, all right? She's that good. She's that good. I swear to God. That's all I'm going to say about Terrifier 2. It was good. It was really, I loved it. And I will say this too, guys, for those that don't like the blood and guts. And there have been a lot of reviewers I've noticed that have said that this one ups the ante in terms of the kills. I disagree. That one kill that the first movie's known for, I still don't think this movie has a kill that tops that. Now, there is one segment of the movie that goes on for a long time, and it is graphic as fuck. But I don't think it has that shock value that crosses into the sexual, I guess you could say. It doesn't really have that. And so if that's stuff that gets under your skin, the first movie tops it, I think, in terms of that. But overall, as an overall movie, I thought the kills were spaced out because it's a 2.5 hour movie, so you go for a good while without any major kills in this movie. And for some of you, that's going to be a good thing because you're really just kind of honing in on the characters. So I loved this movie. It was really, it's easily in my top 5, maybe top 3. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, if you would have told me at the beginning of this year that Terrifier 2 would be in your top 3, Lee, I would have said, give me some of what you're smoking. Just because, even though I like the first movie, it's not my thing. Like, everybody has their thing when it comes to horror. Everybody has different things that they like with horror. Okay? My top thing is not what you get in a Terrifier movie. I can enjoy it, but it's not, I do like suspense. I like mood. I like all that stuff. That's usually what I prefer. I like really getting into the nuts and bolts of a killer. Because to me, that's what makes a killer scary, is what's inside here, And I think that's why I've always been a Myers fan, because there's something about him that really just, I guess it's the unknown, right? And with art, you kind of know everything. You don't know his backstory at all, which that's interesting, by the way, and they could explore that. But I'm talking about face value, if you know what you're going to get with art, Okay, so next one, I watched The Munsters. Oh, my God. For me, going into The Munsters, I thought, this could go either way, because I'm not a Rob Zombie hater. I would say I like at least half of his movies. I love House of a Thousand Corpses. Have it on VHS right over there. Devil's Rejects, I like it a lot. It's really great. Halloween 2. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, one of my favorite Rob Zombie movies. I think that movie's almost a masterpiece. So that's 3 movies right there, guys. I think there's quality in Lords of Salem. It's a beautiful looking movie. It doesn't quite make it to good, but man, there's a bunch of potential there. So that's 4 decent movies. I don't like 31. But I think you get what I'm saying, right? I don't hate Rob Zombie. So I knew going into this, it might be okay. I think this is the ultimate test in terms of writing. You can kind of dress around the writing because you have all that horror graphic stuff to work with in his other movies. But this was a PG movie. This depended on his writing, and he failed miserably. Comedy's hard, guys. Comedy's really hard, and he's really trying to plug in these jokes along the way. And I know comedy's subjective, but it just was not working for me, and it was downright painful. And usually in a movie, you can kind of see the trajectory of the story. That you can feel an ending. That there's going to be an ending somewhere along the way. There's a goal. There's an objective. This movie didn't have that. You didn't know when this thing was going to end. It was basically Lily and Herman getting together, but where do we go from there? And they got together pretty quick, I think. So if it's a 2-hour movie that it was hard for me to get past the first hour. I'll even tell you, I didn't even finish this movie. That's a hard thing to say. It's bad. It's really bad. It's beautiful to look at, He made the movie look great, but being fair here, Sherry Moon Zombie, this is not her part. I think she was trying to do something, but she was failing, and it just didn't work out. It just did not work out at all. And you know what, guys? I love Sherry Moon Zombie. She seems like the sweetest person on the planet. She seems like the type of person that'd be fun to hang out with. And you give her the right type of character, like Baby. There's nobody else that could play Baby in my mind. I think she's amazing as Baby, but not as Lily. Not as Lily at all. So, yeah. All right, next one, and this was a surprise. Hellraiser. I was just talking about this earlier. This was really good. It's not like amazing, but you can see the quality there. You had David Bruckner, who did The Night House. I mean, I could just say that. I mean, wow, that's a top tier director. You know, he's almost at like, and let me know if you guys think I'm full of shit here, but he's almost, not quite, but almost at like Ari Aster level, and Robert Eggers. You know, those two guys are like the creme de la creme for, I guess you could call it like art house horror or elevated. I know I just pissed off half of you. Sorry, but let's just put it this way: David Bruckner could make an art house movie. And Night House feels art house a little bit. So he's doing Hellraiser. Wow. Okay. And it's good. It feels like a David Bruckner movie. You know, a lot of care, a lot of love went into this. The person, because everybody keeps correcting me, she's transgender, so that plays Pinhead, best Pinhead since Doug Bradley for sure. She's really good as Pinhead. I liked her voice. I like that they went more androgynous, and you know, I mean, to me, Pinhead in this movie does look like a woman. Okay, guys, I'm sorry, she does look like a woman. All right, I don't mind that. I like that Pinhead looks like a woman. And even in the original source material, it never says what gender Pinhead is anyway. And she nailed it. I thought she was great, actually. Little trivia there, they actually put pins in her head, whereas Doug Bradley had nails. And the reason they put nails, because originally they wanted to put pins, but it wouldn't show up on camera that well. So it's kind of like how rain won't show up on camera. So like in the Matrix Revolutions, they actually had to, like, they had this machine that made the raindrops like 4 times as big as normal raindrops so they could actually get it on camera. Same type deal here, okay? But yeah, I mean, it's a good movie. I dug the characters in it. You're not going to get Kirsty Cotton, and you know you're not going to get Frank and Julia. I think that's the strength of the first Hellraiser. It's not just Pinhead, because Pinhead's not even in the movie that long. That story is compelling and interesting, you know, and it's about lust. And I think the story's better in the first movie. But I think this was a visual feast for sure. I think it delivered in terms of a good Pinhead. So it worked, you know, and I think this might be the best since the first. You know, I'm not sure yet. I'm trying to, it might be, because I'm trying to think right now what movie in that franchise is better than this movie. I can't think of one. Beth says lust is always a good thing to have, especially in a movie. It's a great topic to explore. It really is. So, yeah. All right. So next one, and this is the last one I watched, and Hocus Pocus 2. Did you guys see Hocus Pocus 2? Are you fans of the original? Because I know the original has a lot of devoted fans. I saw the original for the first time a few years ago. It's okay. I mean, I see the value in the original. Now, I will say the original looks like a masterpiece compared to this one. This just felt like one of those. It's not, you know, it felt like one of those TV movies, you know, movie of the week or something like that on the Disney Channel. Whereas there was something extra about the first movie, you know. It had a really charming quality to it. Whereas I felt these three actresses, Bette Midler and Sarah Jessica Parker. I can't remember the other lady's name, but they weren't bad. Although Bette Midler did all the heavy lifting in this movie, you know. The other two didn't really get, and the one, she kept doing, like you see right there, what she's doing with her mouth. She did that through the whole movie. And I think she does that in the first movie, but for some reason it wasn't as annoying, whereas in this one it was. But I didn't really like the characters outside of them that much. They weren't horrible, but I felt like they were trying to set up other characters to take their place. And I didn't like that. So it was just forgettable, you know? It was just forgettable. That was the big thing about this movie for me. Yeah. I mean, it's not the biggest waste of time on the planet, but I'll never watch it again. I'll just say that. I'll never watch it again. Okay? All right. You know what? We're going to do funnies now. We're going to do funnies. And I'll say up front, thanks to Trina. Trina actually sent me some funnies on my email. If you guys ever want to send me funnies, drumdums@yahoo.com. And I'll look through them. And, you know, Trina, she hooked me. She did me a solid. Okay? So I got some funnies that she sent me. I was going to talk about Sleaze rock. But I think I'm running out of time. So I'll save that for next time. Sleaze rock, what I mean by that is like bands like Guns N' Roses. And the reason I wanted to talk about sleaze rock was because of other sleaze rock bands. Because Guns N' Roses always gets the credit. You know, so I wanted to talk about sleaze rock bands that I was excited about. Don't get me wrong. I like Guns N' Roses. But just like any popular band, I mean, they're freaking massive. I don't want to talk about Guns N' Roses anymore. I want to talk about others. So next stream I'll do that. I'll talk about some sleaze rock bands. But let me get some music up here. Hold on. Guys, I've been listening to this synthwave playlist, and I'm just addicted to it. Okay, I'm addicted to it. I love it. Okay. Jesse says, "Lee, check out my last comment." Let me go dig for your last comment. Hold on. All right. Let me see. Let me go up here. Hold on. I haven't listened to Steel Panther that much. I've heard a couple of their songs, and they're really funny. Let me see. Jesse. Okay. Prey haters are whack 100%. It's not perfect, but better by far than most after 1 and 2, and not woke like people say. I hate wokeness in films, but Prey is not that like other most movies have been lately. Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I think that word gets thrown around for everything that has a female in it these days. I do think woke movies exist, and what I mean by that is when the movie is disguised as one thing, but an agenda has taken over, and you didn't expect that. To me, that can be woke, okay? But Prey's not that at all. If Prey came out in the 80s, if Prey came out in the 90s, it would have been par for the course. Everybody would have loved it, you know. And a lot of people do love it. It's a great movie, you know. But it's the time we live in, you know. You're gonna have people that use that word, and I guess that's just not how I rate movies, you know. Like I said, it does exist, but to me, a bad movie's a bad movie for whatever reason, you know. At the end of the day, am I entertained by the movie? Did I like the characters? Characters are important to me. If you give me characters that haven't earned anything, then I don't like that. And that's the reason. I won't say woke. I'll just say I don't like the characters. That's what I said in the 90s. That's what I said in the 80s when that word didn't exist. And I still use it today, you know. But people, they want to label everything now. So, yeah. But, you know, time is the true test. I know a lot of movies that come out today, a lot of TV shows, in another year, they'll be long forgotten. There's a lot of crap that comes on Netflix these days for a variety of reasons. That they're just not well-written movies. I see it all the time. You know, I'd say 9 out of every 10 Netflix movies that come out are pure crap. It just is. You know, nothing's really. I'll go to Shudder 10 times before I'll go to Netflix if I'm looking for a horror movie. You know, that's a good example. But Beth, she said, you do, but I'll be scrolling YouTube with my eyes closed for the next few weeks. Me avoiding all Halloween Ends updates. Yeah, because Michael Trapson was even telling me today he's like laying low and he's avoiding everything because he doesn't want to poke his head up. You know, he wants to go into this movie not knowing anything. So, next one. That's my house in the front, and my wife, she put out some decorations, and it looks really nice. Although I didn't give you the best picture there because I'm kind of hiding some stuff with that bush that's there. But yeah, it was nice to decorate because last year we were in the process of moving around this time, so I didn't really get to decorate. So maybe and we, you know, just modest, nothing crazy. All right. This was at Hallow Scream. I went there, I think last month or something like that, and there was this guy, and I didn't get the best picture here, but that guy was dressed as a zombie, and oh my God, talk about the best zombie actor I'd ever seen. Like his walk, it was like Tarman, you know. But man, he was just he had like black goo coming out of his mouth. He was awesome. But unfortunately, the sunlight is like blinding his face, so you guys can't really see how good he is. But yeah, he was good. Went to Spirit Halloween recently for the first time this year, and I took Delilah. And Delilah, they had a Halloween mask section, and I put that in her thing, and she was looking at it, and I took a picture of it, and she looks adorable. And so, yeah, I'm her grandpa, and, you know, could be a bad thing. I wonder if she's going to like horror movies. Of course, I want her to do her own thing, and she might not like horror movies, you know? My daughter likes horror movies. My son doesn't. That's just not his thing. He likes like superhero movies and stuff like that, and I don't get in the way of that, you know? They love what they love, and I respect that. So, and I'll do the same thing with Delilah, but, I can't help but give her a little nudge, you know? She was curious. So, that's my baby. I love her to death. Okay. Clint Howard, guys. Freaking Clint Howard liked... it's funny, like, I go on Instagram, and that thing that he liked was my review for Silent Night, Deadly Night 4. And I posted that picture on Instagram probably 4 years ago. Something like that. Maybe 3 years ago. And I guess he just saw it. I got a like from Clint Howard, guys. Come on. That made my day. I freaking love Clint Howard. Who doesn't love Clint Howard? Right? Yeah. Ryan Bogardus. I told him at the beginning of the stream, pay attention during the funnies because this is his moment to shine. Dinner tonight, what's everyone else having? I wonder, did Ryan actually do that? Like, that's a face hugger chicken. You know? Would you guys fry that up and eat it? That's the real question. Really, that's what I wanted to know. Would you guys fry that up and eat it? Because, wow. That'd be kind of creepy, you know? But, damn good job whoever cut that thing up. That would be scary as hell, right? Yeah, next one. Guys, do you want to know my review process? Well, here you go. Here's my review process, okay? Oh, too close to the mic. Okay. This was during my Hellraiser, and technically these weren't reviews. I was just kind of watching the movie and then pulling the camera up and talking about, because I didn't remember these movies. And so I'm still in the process of doing those Hellraiser movies, but goddamn, there's like freaking 1,900 of them. But so this dude says, this dude does everything except watch the movie. He makes a video, grills a burger, mows the lawn, gives the dog a bath. He's not wrong. And I said it's the only way to properly review a movie for me. It's true, you know. But I do that. Like, I'll be watching. Do you guys do that when you're watching a movie? You do everything but watch the movie, and you know. And in the video, I literally like started cooking a cheeseburger, and I had the camera on. I was like, fuck it, I'll turn the camera on while I'm making a cheeseburger, you know. Did I give it? I don't remember if I gave Levi a bath, but he probably needed one. I will say that he probably needed one. But yeah, I did mow the lawn that day too. So, but hey, you know what? Hey, what other reviewer is grilling a burger while he's reviewing the movie? Okay, this guy. All right. So there you go. Suck it up. All right. Oh yeah, Trina. Now some of these are ones that Trina sent me. And I think this is true. Girls on Instagram be like, I think that's really true. Yeah, Beth. I guess the guy's never heard of vlog, right? I mean, those videos is so obvious that I'm not, and I even say it, I'm not reviewing the movie. I'm vlogging as I'm watching the movie. There's a difference. Okay. All right. But I thought it was funny. It was a funny comment. I liked his comment. So I gave him the A for effort. Hello, October. Jesse says, comment continued, and I genuinely believe horror movies, especially the Halloween franchise, would benefit from your consultation before their production. From my consultation? No, that'd be horrible. That'd be a bad idea. It'd be a horrible idea. But thank you, Jesse. That's very nice. It's very nice. You know what? And you sent that at the perfect time because that's how I feel right now after you said that. Okay? I've been waiting for you, Jesse. Okay. Next one. You don't like horror movies? All right. It'd be a lot cooler if you did. Wooderson. I like how, see, to me, that looks like the guy from Mad Max, the Road Warrior. Does it the mask look like that? But because it's like a black mask or a brown mask. I don't know. Yeah. That is a picture of me. Yeah. All right. Okay. Closed. Let's see. When you finally decide where to order food from and they're closed, right? And this was me on the day after the hurricane, I think, because everything was closed. And I just wanted some hot food because I didn't have any power, so I couldn't cook anything. And Trina, you could not have sent a better meme. I mean, time-wise, because that's exactly what I was thinking. And I remember I went to McDonald's, and the line was like around the freaking block, And have you guys noticed like limited menus? Like you go to a place and they say, we have a limited menu. Like they don't have everything that you, and usually limited means they don't have what you want. It's annoying. Okay. Next one. Life is like a box of chocolates, and it kind of fits because Halloween, you're trick or treating, most of the time you get chocolate, So, Forrest Gump, because he likes chocolate so much, I would imagine his favorite holiday is Halloween. I would think, right? Because that's where you're going to get your chocolates, or Valentine's Day. Maybe he likes Valentine's Day better. I don't know. Yeah, the wait times are insanely long, Beth. Especially but Chick-fil-A does have a good system going. Like you go to Chick-fil-A and you'll be in freaking the next state, but somehow they're efficient. You're just like boom, 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 boom. They're moving you fast. And you still get that great customer service. Maybe that's why I like Chick-fil-A so much. So, I'm sad summer will be ending soon. Me, that's us, right? This is our time to shine, guys. This is our time. We all love spooky month, spooky season. And, we always say that every day's Halloween, but there's still something a little extra special in October, right? You can't, I get excited. Are you guys really excited that it's October? Like, I feel the fever. And, it's one of those things like by the end of it, you're sad, but you're almost glad that it's over because then you're getting into the holidays, you're getting into Christmas and all that. But if anything, you probably watch so many horror movies in the month of October that you're probably good for the whole year, even though we're not because we're horror fans. So, yeah. The pile of clothes on my chair during the day. This is so true too. The pile of clothes on my chair at 3 a.m. I do that too. Like if I have a pile of clothes on my chair and I look, I do see something. But I see anything but clothes. It's always something really, really creepy. I like that one, Trina. That one's funny. Okay. Nice family. I've seen this one before too. This family just moved into the house next to me. I'm getting good vibes from them. Well, technically, it wasn't their fault anyway, right? God, I love Poltergeist though. Like, still to this day, Poltergeist, and it's PG. It's freaking PG, but it's still one of the creepiest, scariest movies I've ever seen. You know? So, I always bitch about PG-13 horror movies, and for good reason, because usually with slashers, PG, it just feels kind of watered down, like lukewarm. And usually you don't want horror to have boundaries, but Poltergeist, and I think if Poltergeist came out today, it would probably be R, but that's just great storytelling and great direction. Those two married up perfectly in Poltergeist, and somehow they managed to pull it off to where they could get a PG rating. It's crazy. Thank you, W. Glass, Rip, Heather O'Rourke. Still to this day, she's been gone for so long, but man, Carol Ann, I still feel that every time I watch Poltergeist. Because she was just this cute little girl, and it's just such a shame. She died so young. And I heard that she didn't even have to die. Like, she had this surgery or something like that, and she was misdiagnosed or something like that. Like, she didn't even have to die, and she did. Just really sad. But, and that, that adds this, that curse of Poltergeist kind of adds a mystique to it. So, last one. And we've all seen this one before, too. When someone confuses Michael Myers with Jason Voorhees, we see it every freaking year. When I used to get dressed like Myers for every Halloween, never failed. Every single time I would walk down the street, somebody would call me Jason. And it drives me freaking nuts. I hate it. Because if somebody walks as Jason, nobody calls him Myers. Nobody calls him Michael. But I always liked the name Michael Myers anyway. That was part of his mystique to me when I first got into Michael Myers. There's something about that name, Michael Myers, that was always a little creepy to me, So there was a guy that I was stationed in the military with. His name was Michael Myers, and I was jealous. I was like, damn, that's a cool name to have, Michael Myers. So Michael Myers. All right. So that's it for the funnies. Again, thank you, Trina. She gave me some really good funnies. Great entertainment for you people. And I love funnies. So, guys, we did it. Holy crap. You guys always make this so easy. I had a great time discussing things. I didn't even get to the Terrifier story, but really all I was going to talk about was the fact that Terrifier made $400,000 in its first day. And it's only in like 700 theaters. And I think that's a great thing because you usually don't see a movie like Terrifier on the big screen. As great as it is, you can see it feels like a lower budget type of movie, and you definitely don't see kills like that usually on the big screen, So it's cool that a movie like Terrifier is getting exposure, getting great reviews, and if anything, maybe it opens doors for more movies like that. Maybe we'll see a resurgence of those type movies, but the difference is, you can compare this to like when Halloween came out. And then Friday the 13th. And then all of a sudden the floodgates opened for a certain type of horror movie, which was the slasher. So, it would be cool if Terrifier opened the floodgates for, what would you call it? Because I don't necessarily consider it torture porn. I would call it something, because it's definitely a slasher, but it's like, maybe Slasher Supreme. That's a horrible name for it. I'm sure there's a name that you could apply to it. But the thing that will separate Terrifier from other movies of that type is that it's a great story. It's great characters. It's a great final girl. That's going to be a hard thing to recreate. So we'll see. Revived slasher, maybe. Grindhouse slasher. I like Grindhouse slasher. That'd be good, actually, George. Yeah. So, but yeah. Anyway, guys, fantastic time with you guys tonight. Thank you all for showing up, talking Halloween Ends with me. Love you guys to death. Take care of each other. And guys, Halloween Ends. it's coming next week. I'm hoping that you guys go out and you love this movie. It's the end of an era. And yeah, I just hope everybody loves it. I hope everybody has a great time with this movie. And we're definitely going to talk about it after it comes out. You know, Hallow Stream is coming. Next Sunday, I think me and Michael Trapson are going to talk about Halloween Ends. Probably there's going to be a commentary coming from me on it. So looking forward to it, guys. Enjoy Halloween Ends. Take care of each other. Enjoy the rest of your spooky season. I hope you guys watch. What did one of you guys say? You watched like Destiny said what she watched, like 16 movies or something like that, or I think even more, 24, something like that. I don't know. Watch as many movies as you can, though. Okay. Night, everyone.